11 minutes past 7 on your breakfast rush. And if you just joined us, then, well, your timing couldn't have been better. The African Transformation Movement says it will approach the Constitutional Court to seek clarity on the implementation of the Section 89 impeachment process, following a Western Cape High Court ruling that temporarily halted Parliament's planned public hearings into the Phala Phala matter. The party argues that the judgment has created constitutional uncertainty, particularly regarding whether a lower court can effectively suspend the implementation of an order previously made by the Constitutional Court. Joining us now to unpack it all is the African Transformation Movement National Spokesperson, Zama Ntshona, who'll talk to us about the party's decision and what it could mean for Parliament as well as the country's constitutional process. Mr. Zama Ntshona, good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Rush on Radio Ansaar.
Good morning to you and the listeners.
Thank you for your time. Let's get straight into it. Tell us, what prompted the ATM to approach the Constitutional Court at this stage, and what specific clarification are you hoping the court will provide regarding the Section 89 impeachment process?
Thank you so much. Well, for the African Transformation Movement, the Western High Court judgment is vague. One, the president applied for the impeachment process to be halted pending the review application, but what was granted was the suspension of public hearings on the matter. Mm-hmm. Now, if you grant the president the suspension of public hearings, are you saying that we can interview him behind closed doors?
Yeah.
If you are saying that, but you are in contravention of the Constitution, which says Parliament must do everything must conduct its business openly. So you are now throwing us in an environment where there is constitutional uncertainty and we are bordering on violating the very constitution on which this country is built on. Mm-hmm. So for us as the African Transformation Movement, we need clarification there. And for us, when you grant an order that was not applied for, what is it exactly that you're doing? So that is number one. But number two, the issue of the reasons which were given by the president. The president said, I seek this relief because I am of the view that the process, which is the impeachment process, will impugn on my dignity. Yeah. This was number two. But the courts, the Western Cape High Court on two occasions ruled on that matter, ruled that on the issue of balance of convenience, the dignity of an individual is not more important than the interest of the majority. So why is it that we're going to be subjected to this problem or by an individual who has to be, in fact, he took an oath of office to protect this country from enemies from within and enemies from the outside. And not only that, he will abide by the rule of law. When he doesn't, why is he going to cry that we're impugning on his dignity? The individual shouldn't have actually embarked on doing unlawful things. But not only that, the African Transformation Movement is of the view that it is important that we maintain the separation of powers. How is it that the judiciary is going to tell Parliament not to embark on its own processes? And the last thing, the same court in different occasions has said, the same court on different occasions, it has maintained, I'm just looking for that one now. Okay. Yes, it is very important that these cases be, that one will come back to me as we're moving forward, but it's very important that we maintain the separation of powers. And in this particular case, the president must not cry for his dignity when he did not think of himself when he violated the law.
The Western Cape High Court granted President Ramaphosa an interim interdict, but there was also a dissenting judgment. Why does the ATM believe this difference of opinion strengthens the need for the Constitutional Court to now intervene?
Thank you so much. It is not just that dissenting voice there, but previous judgments of this case, which included impeachment of different individuals, were very clear. So in a space in recent times, recent history, we have had 3 cases and 6 justices And of the 6, only 2 are of the view that the dignity must outweigh the interest of accountability. Yes, this is what I wanted to say earlier on. Incumbent of the job that one takes as a president in this case is the issue of accountability. And the courts in previous times have ruled that the issue of accountability is not a nice to have. When you sign that contract and when you take that oath of office, it is then automatic that should there be an impeachment on you, you are required to subject yourself. So you can't run and say dignity is more important. So for us as the African Transformation Movement, we're very clear on this matter. And in order for it to go the right way, it can't be that on the basis of 2 justices, we then say this matter must be put to rest. But the last thing is that it sets a very bad precedent. A mayor somewhere who has taken monies of the state, who must be subjected now to a parliamentary process, can say, my dignity is going to be impugned on, and use this judgment as a precedent. You can't allow that to happen. This judgment must be thrown away, must be set aside. And the last thing on this issue of the judgment is that it is not just an interim order. It presents the finality of the matter, as when the matter is heard on the review application, the illegalities of this that are surrounding this judgment are not going to be discussed there. So we can't allow this to be a precedent on which public servants can use it as a precedent when they are trying to run away from accountability.
Thank you for that. The ATM says that this is not an attack really on the judiciary, but rather an effort to protect constitutional certainty. How do you respond to those who may argue that repeatedly litigating these issues could itself contribute to delays in the impeachment process?
Well, we are seeking to move forward with this, but the person who is actually delaying the process is the president. Yeah. Remember, the interim interdict is the one that is halting the process. We are seeking relief to continue with the process. But in the event that we allow the president to dilly-dally and play hide and seek with us as a country, the country is going to get to a point where it is 2029 and we still have not held the president accountable. Now remember that this is a matter that happened back in 2020. We are now sitting in 2026. And guess who has been doing the running around? It's not the African Transformation Movement. It is Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa who has been doing the running around, trying to avoid accountability on this matter. So it is not a question of delaying. We are trying to set the process in order, and we are trying to ensure that as we move forward, we are able to swiftly deal with this matter. And should he be found guilty, impeach the president.
Finally, if we look ahead, if the Constitutional Court grants the clarity that the ATM is seeking, what are the next steps and what do you expect Parliament to do going forward? What message does the party have for South Africans who are looking for accountability in the Phala Phala matter?
Very important that moving forward, Parliament must resume its accountability work. The president must appear before Parliament. The president must clarify the questions that are before the president on the issue of other paid work, the issue of not reporting a crime, on the issue of conflict of interest, and the issue of issuing of an unlawful instruction. And should he fail to do that, we expect that Parliament will vote for the impeachment of the president.
African Transformation Movement's national spokesperson Zama Ntshona informing us this morning of what we should know. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your efforts, and we hope that you have a beautiful day and a wonderful week ahead.
Join us again tomorrow morning on TBR.